Welcome to Drinks in the Library, the only library where drinks aren't just allowed, they are required. I'm your librarian host, Gigi Howard, and each episode I'll be interviewing a guest about a much-loved book that we will be pairing with a drink for you to enjoy along with us or consider for your next book club meetup. As always, stay curious and support your local library. Happy New Year, Libration Nation. All right, we're kicking this year off with Heartbeat by Terreece M. Clarke. It's a romance suspense novel, and in it, Maya and Mike find love in the midst of danger and a little bit of messiness. This is the first book in Clarke's Courageous Love series, and with excellent characters and diverse voices, it is a favorite of this week's guest, Liz Bullard. Liz is a multi-genre author, therapist, and coach known for her captivating storytelling and passion for helping creatives overcome obstacles. Her notable works include the Prophecy series and the Lyra Summer Mysteries. Praised for fast-paced plots, vivid characters, and movie-like imagery, Liz's love of reading and writing is evident in the eReads podcast, where she celebrates the power of creativity and storytelling. When she's not writing, coaching, or recording the podcast, she's cooking, reading, or spending time with Preston the Corky. Our drink this week is a Hibiscus French 75 mocktail. It uses one of my favorite syrups, which is the Wild Hibiscus. Comes with hibiscus flowers in the syrup, and you can use them to make a beautiful pinkish red cocktail that matches Heartbeat's cover oh so well. All right, to support the podcast this week, please tell a friend about it, like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We are also now selling merch. All merch purchases go back into supporting and running the show. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. Well, Liz, I'm so pumped to be with you here tonight. Where are you coming from tonight?
Yeah, I am tuning in from Connecticut. It is a windy Connecticut day.
Did y'all get the snow that I saw New York just got?
hmm
You got it. Yeah.
Yep. And
Congrats.
luckily we had some rain like the next day and it's almost gone. There's not a lot of ice, so it
Okay.
is very winter.
Yeah, I know. Same, even though I'm here in Richmond, they told us it was going to be unseasonably warm. They lied. It's cold.
And
Yeah.
what's cold for y'all down there?
I mean, it can get like 20s, 10s. I mean, we get down to the ones and twos occasionally. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the weather there right now?
We have a cold weather protocol. So we're in the ones and twos for I
Okay.
think until Sunday, I think they said.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I
Well, we're
know.
not
I'm
quite
not.
there, but
Well,
it is.
listen, send us some of that warm.
Yeah. All right. And so, Liz, I was so excited to get to know you online and connect. But who are you? What are you into?
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Liz. I am a therapist, author, and coach. I do private practice during the day, and at night, I like to say I'm either writing or coaching creatives on how to move from stuck to started on their creative goals. So, combining that wellness as well as that practical, if you're stuck with procrastination or imposter syndrome, how do you have some actionable tools? Because we need your creativity, we need your stories, we need your art, we need your web design. So helping people move past those blocks.
Okay. Excellent. And we use your therapy skills and then expand on it.
You got it.
All right. And you're a writer and you also love to read.
Love to read. Always been a reader. My mom used to read to me as a kid, and so I think that's where it's come from. But yeah, I've always been a reader.
What were your favorite books when you were a kid?
Yeah. I think the first book I remember is the Dick and Jane novels, see
Mm.
Spot runs fast. I remember learning to read with just that repetition and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I remember late nights with like Aragon or Twilight, and just like I would read everything. So, oh, and I remember like Alana was one of the books, this, Arthurian novel. So, like, I would read anything.
Yeah. Well, it's good to start them young.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
All right, but the book we're talking about today is not for children.
It is it is not for children at all.
Yeah, so it is Heartbeat by
Terreece M.
Ter
Clarke,
Terreece M.
yes.
Clarke. Yes, thank you so much. So, who were you when you picked up this book?
Yeah, funny enough, I was just beginning my author journey and I was new to Book Talk. I was on there, and when you join Book Talk, like they give you all the romance, and she had come into my path and I really was like liking her posts and her social media. And she seemed like a really fun, cool person, and her story seemed really fun. And I actually had won this book in the ebook in like a raffle, because at the time I was not a romance reader. I said, romance is not for me. And like this book changed everything.
Okay.
Mm.
So, hang on, what raffle did you win? Because I've never won a Goodreads raffle ever.
So this thing, I've never won a Goodreads raffle, but a friend, she like had won five. I don't know how she's pulled it off,
Uh-huh.
but this was on TikTok. She was like,
Okay.
like if I think it was like for her birthday, or maybe it was like the book's birthday, but like I commented, and then I'm getting this DM like, "Hey, you won the book." I was like, "Oh, that's really cool,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well, let me give it a try."
Okay. All right. All right. So, let's jump into it. What is the story about? What pulled you in to this tale?
Yeah. So Heartbeat is part of the Courageous Love series, and it follows Maya and Mike in let's see if I can remember where they are, but it's this fictitious town in the Colorado mountains. And Maya is running from some trouble. She is running from a relationship, and she's in this place where no one knows her. And she runs into Mike, and he's this officer, and he is all about duty and all of that. And it is not like love at first sight. It is very contentious. And it's just the story of overcoming hardship and finding love while doing it. And it taught me so much. So I'm a character driven girly. Like I love characters. And I remember the moment I fell in love with this novel. So I was in bed twisting up my hair, at night. And I remember like reading, and this character is doing the same thing. Like
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
like, and for me, that's when it clicked. I'm like, oh, you don't like romance because you've never been seen in romance, right? Like
Right.
you and your experience. And that is when I fell in love with the book, because I'm sitting here having this very exact same experience as this character, and I had never personally had that. And that I will always be a ride or die Teresa and Clarke fan because of that experience.
Wow. And so I have to ask, so like had you as someone who twists their hair, a
Hmm.
person of color,
Yeah.
you had never read a romance book where you felt seen before?
No, like they were always like fluffy or like light and cutesy. And
Hmm.
I never felt like I connected. But
Yeah.
her characters are awkward or weird or strong. And even with books where there are women of color, and I talk about this with some of my friends, it's like everything in their life is so perfect except for the romance. And I've never felt like that. Again, I feel sometimes awkward, and this is falling apart, and this and all of that.
Uh-huh.
And so to see someone who looked like a normal person felt really good. And it made me really excited to keep reading. The characters just felt like people I would talk to, like I'm talking to you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well then let's talk about Maya then. Who is
Yeah.
Maya, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to read the back of the book because I love how she describes. So Maya Anderson only knows success. Set a goal, create a plan, achieve. Everything she can control, she does, down to her color coordinated closet. Then someone tried to kill her.
She almost had it.
Right? She almost had it. And I think I love them. Like it's almost everything's together except, these, quirky things. And so I love that.
All right, so I guess we can start off because you know from the beginning that Maya's in trouble. So do you want to
Yes.
go into a little bit of her backstory? I mean, we don't want to give away too much, but I definitely want other listeners to connect with her as well.
Yeah. So we see Maya, she's like in the car. Um, I'm going to reread this book from my traveling book club, but from what I remember, like I think the car breaks down and she's coming to, someone comes to help her.
Mhm.
And we find out that Maya is, well, actually, before we don't really find out that she's expecting to a little bit later,
Mhm.
but she ends up getting kind of like sick, right, and passing out until they bring her to the hospital where we find out that she's scarred and there's these things and we're like, well, what happened, what's going on? And she's hiding this from everyone around her, and you are so drawn in by the suspense. Another thing that for me, as someone who loves mysteries and thrillers, I didn't know that you can mix the two with romance, like
Yeah.
suspense and romance. So I'm immediately falling in love.
All right. You're sold.
Right. You're giving me all the stuff.
Yeah, and I think going into that a little bit, so she meets Mike, and like you said, they're not immediately
hmm
falling for each other. So I talk about Mike a little bit, or any other characters that you also loved.
Yeah, I was so in love with Mike, aka Hart. And what I loved about him was his patience with Maya.
Mhm.
So, as well as his understanding of her, like they're having a conversation about hair. And, for those who don't know, Mike is this white guy in the mountains, this, mountain man, and he knows a little bit about hair and texture and all these things because he's also been immersed in the culture and has grown up around people. And so his willingness to learn and to know and to share in with her culture without her having to assimilate, I loved, because sometimes in stories where it may be an interracial romance, you may be seeing the woman especially having to assimilate to the man, where this was really, you have two people who had stuff. Mike also has his own trauma and things that he has to heal from, and they don't become enmeshed, right? It's not like, oh, we are just going to ignore all the problems and be one. No, like through healing and taking care of their own stuff, it helps them to connect. And I loved that. I mentioned being a therapist. And so
Right.
being able to see, yeah, people have problems, they heal. Sometimes you don't heal everything, but you're able to like still be an individual and be a strong couple. And I just loved how that was woven together. Again, it felt real.
Yeah. I'm thinking through a little bit of that, like the fact that Mike doesn't come from a place he comes from a pretty sad
Yeah.
background too. And I think that sometimes makes you more understanding of other people.
hmm
Unfortunately, sometimes when you've had bad things happen to you, it's much easier
Yeah.
to connect with everybody.
Absolutely, because there's not this like, wow, I don't get why you're standoffish, or like there's that lack of patience. It's
Yeah.
this empathy
Mhm.
that was really nice to see, especially with her being so fragile and escaping an abusive situation, and to see someone be patient with her, to be kind, to love her radically was really nice to read.
Yeah. What would you say is like the vibe of the story? Like, I know it's romance suspense, but I mean,
hmm
if you were comparing it to like a TV show or other things that we
Oh,
could match it with.
if I had to compare it to a TV show, Scandal comes to mind because of the heat, as well
Mhm.
as the grittiness, the fun. There's definitely laugh out loud moments. It is comforting yet entertaining. It is thrilling and romantic. It is
Yeah.
this play of like these polar opposites that keep you turning the page, which is So fun. And it's a thick book, right? So like it's like you want to be able to keep, turning the page and living in these moments.
Yeah. Okay, and also this is the beginning of
hmm
I think she's written 5 books now. Does that sound right?
I think it might be five, right? Like you can definitely binge and like stay in the world. There's enough of
Hmm.
them.
Yeah. Have you read the other ones?
Everyone except latest one is Breathe.
Hmm.
And is it Love Never? I think it's like the prequel novella. I think those are the
Uh-huh.
two I haven't read, but I've read Chaser.
Mhm.
I've read this one, and I forget the one with Selena or
Okay.
Celine.
Celine. Okay, and so are all those characters, so they're all set in what is the city? It's called Rough Ridge, right? Colorado.
Yes.
So are they all set in the same area? How are they all connected?
Yeah, so they're all connected. I think Maya knows all the ladies, and then the guys are kind of like connected. They're all like these cowboys out in that area. And we see them in the books that I've read. We see all of the characters, right? So
Mhm.
you get to kind of see the couples in different perspectives. And this one, it is Maya and Mike. Again, she's like this businesswoman, affluent, has all these resources. If I remember right, I think she's an architect. um Celine is her assistant, if I'm remembering things right. That's how they're all connected, that they're all like friends and have like businesses and things that interact with each other.
Okay. Besides Mike and Maya, who are your favorite characters?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. I They might be my favorite. Like I
Okay.
really loved um the couple in Chaser. The name escapes me, but I think I really love Mike and Maya because I think they surprised me the most. And um again, like I didn't expect to connect as much. And so it was really nice oh, but Celine in the scene with the cast iron. So in that book, that is the book that came out right before Breathe. There is a scene, and I'm a cook. I love to cook. I do. I
Okay.
love, love, love food. So there you also have Celine, but no, I'm gonna go with Mike and Maya.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite thing to cook?
Oh my goodness. I think I really love soups and like stews, things where like simmer slow,
Hmm.
low, and you're throwing, oh, like what's in the fridge? Let's throw it all in there and let it bubble. I
Yeah.
really enjoy that.
Okay. Bring it all together. And it's also, especially this time of year, it's
Oh,
like,
yes. Comforting.
yeah, when you're in the ones and twos, it's cold.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So talking about the series and Terreece M. Clarke,
hmm
um, what do we know about her?
Yes. So she is an indie author who writes about radical love. Her daughter is also an author. She
Wow.
wrote, I think it's considered a young adult horror. That one was really fun too. But she has this series, and I don't know if she has this series and a holiday novella. Is it The War Pause, which was absolutely adorable and cute?
Aw.
It was adorable and cute, but she, I believe, has a journalism background, so she comes from writing. And from my brief interactions with her, she's just a really driven, fun person who's
Yeah.
like just as fun as her characters.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast with her to prep for this, and I found out her first book, it was a potty training book. And it featured, she said when she was potty training, I guess her daughter, there were no potty training books featuring brown or black children. And so
Really?
she wrote it. She wrote the first one. Isn't that cool?
And I think that like sums up her personality. She's very much, well, like if it's not out there, I'll create it myself. And
Hmm.
like I love that.
Yeah. She seems like a lot of fun and like interesting. And
hmm
she has a journalism background too,
hmm
which I found that to be really interesting to talk about how she, she learned so much from her journalism background, but then is able to have fun and be more of herself in obviously when you're writing fiction, right? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I have another friend, she comes from a journalism background and she writes um Christian thrillers.
okay.
And I think it's always really cool when someone takes like how they write in one space, but
Hmm.
then it translates differently or like there's elements in the fiction. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love learning about that. Where was I going? Oh, I wanted to ask you because you said at the beginning that you read this right at the beginning of your author journey.
Hmm.
So, how did it impact, the kinds of things that you started writing about?
Oh, I love that question. I think seeing characters again that look like me,
Mhm.
who felt like real people, I think it gave a sense of permission. I think I love my characters in my fantasy, um but I think in reading her books, I think it gave me a little permission to break the mold a little bit. And when I wrote my mystery, I think Lyra, who is crazy. You have these laugh out loud moments, and she's just defiant. I think reading these characters that just took over the page, that stay with you, it gave me that permission to just kind of like, oh, yeah, like they don't have to be so nice. They
Uh-huh.
can be a bit rough around the edges.
Had you been trying to write before that, or was that really the beginning of it?
Yeah, I had started during the pandemic. Out of self-care, I was talking with a friend, and we were just talking about, again, she was in journalism and I was, I'm a therapist, and we were talking about is your current self-care routine enough, right? You go home, just kind of come home and then do it all over again.
Hmm.
I said, oh, I don't think my current self-care routine is enough. I think that there could be more here. And so when she had said, hey, a group of me and then, a friend, we're getting together to do some journal prompts in the morning. She like, we're none of us are writers. We don't know how to write. I said, you know what? I'm going to commit to doing this before I go to work. And it started out as this hobby of like just doing these 5-minute prompts. Then it went to 10-minute prompts. Then it went to 20-minute prompts. Then it's like, oh, let's write overnight to let's do NaNoWriMo. And it just kind of went from there. And I said, oh, there's stories inside that I didn't know was there. And so through self-care and allowing yourself to play, you find that there's parts of yourself that maybe you didn't know was there.
Wow. I mean, I 100% agree with you, but what was that experience like? I mean, did you notice a difference in your mental health? How does it feel to get all that creativity out?
1000%, 1000%, like this that small act of I'm waking up 8 o'clock and I'm going to spend this hour taking care of me before I take care of everyone else was tremendous for me. As a therapist, you're always thinking about others, you're always taking care of others. And when you write, it becomes, well, what do you want to happen? What do you want this character to do? What do you want the scene? And it was really grounding, because you can start to lose yourself when you're always caring for someone else. And so having that moment of calm, that moment of caring for me, I think really helped me show up for others. And it helped me know when I wasn't doing so good as far as my self-care. Because
Mhm.
if there were days and moments where I wasn't writing, I'm like, well, you really like to do this. Why are you not doing this? What's going on? It's
Mhm.
like, oh, you're getting tired. You're having some mental fatigue. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's make sure that we do this and show up for yourself. And so whatever your hobby is, pay attention to how consistent you are, because that can be a warning sign of like, are you doing enough to take care of yourself?
What would you say to people who say, I'm not creative?
Oh, just play and find out.
Yeah.
Just play. I started saying like I am not creative at all, but it really is a muscle. It really is a muscle. And the more you do it, the more you keep building it, it can't help but come out. And it may not be writing, maybe it is cooking where you're able to say like, oh, these flavors. Maybe it's music, maybe it's fashion, maybe it's problem solving, but just keep building that muscle and you'll find what home it lies in.
Yeah, I 100%. I mean, I've learned that just I feel like my creativity comes out in conversation. I really love to
Mm,
talk to people and get to know them. And I didn't know that about myself at all until I was like something was spinning inside
yeah.
me that was like, talk to people about their favorite books. That's what you love to do.
I love that. And like it's so important to like explore those things that keep coming up. And I don't think we do that enough, right? We focus on the have to things, like have to go to work, have to do this, but like do the things that are just fun to do. And like it's so important for our wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and talking about your books a little bit, what are you working on right now? Do you want to tell us a little bit what about your favorite?
Yeah, I would love to. So right now I'm quote unquote taking time off from publishing. I'm just going to write the whole year of 2026. There's some stories like continuing the Lyra Sommers mysteries, where Lyra has dreams about people in need. And I'm working on book three, where she kept dreaming about this man who she's like, he's just in my head, this man of her dreams who actually is a real person. She runs into him, and he is key to finding out what really happened to her mother. And so I want to write that, and I want to dabble in some other stories. Like there's a fantasy story that I want to write, as well as another mystery. I think maybe a series of novellas about a older woman, inspired, I think, by my mom, who will be Miss Bev, who gets into some trouble at the nursing home as she is recovering from knee surgery. So there's some stories I want to play with. So I'm just going to work on those for the year of 2026.
Okay. How has publishing been for you?
It has been fun. And I know a lot of people don't say that,
No,
but
they don't.
I but I've had a lot of fun. And I think it has really helped me find not only my creative voice, but my voice again. And like helping others, sometimes you get put on the back burner, but in publishing, you're deciding, well, especially like if you are a self-published author,
Mhm.
right? You're deciding what does the book cover look like? How long? Where are you going to publish it? You're a narrator if you're doing audiobook, all of these questions that you have to ask that it's on your preference and your vision. And so it's been really fun reconnecting with that part of myself and to just kind of go to different book signings and to talk to people and have them fall in love with my characters. And so it's been nice to see people have fun with the stories that I'm just playing with, and I'm just telling you what I see in my head. I'm like, "Oh, you like that? You like what's in my head? That's really fun." And so I've
Yeah,
been having fun just kind of doing that.
yeah. Well, excellent. Well, I'm excited to see how 2026 goes with just writing.
Hmm.
We'll hold you to
I know
it.
there are some short stories. Like I couldn't go and not publish at all, but like I've had, again, I was writing since the pandemic. So there's all
Yeah.
these like short stories and things. So those will be published to Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
And some are flash fiction, some are short stories, but nothing as far as novels for next year.
Okay. Coming back to Heartbeat, I wanted to
Yes.
talk about our drink.
Yes.
And it's so fun. Okay, so I have to tell you, so it's a hibiscus French 75. And I was thinking about it because I was thinking about the cover. I love this. It's called Wild Hibiscus. It's a syrup. It's a red syrup, and it has a hibiscus inside. And so I
I
thought
love
it
it.
looked kind of like the cover of the book where
Yes.
they're two together, and you can see the heart inside between them.
I love it.
And I'm just obsessed with any cocktail with wild hibiscus, like invite me over. Also, this is a we did mocktails, which is
Yes.
great and all for it. But so it's just a French 75, which is gin, sparkling, lemon juice, and simple syrup. But then I added the wild hibiscus, and then everything is non-alcoholic. So, but of course, you can do whatever you want at your own
And
house.
it looks gorgeous in the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah, it's so pretty. And so, yeah, this will be my first episode of 2026, actually.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, but then right afterwards, you got Valentine's Day. So keep that in
I'm
your,
telling you. Yeah.
yeah. Also, coming back to Heartbeat, Was there anything with this story that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to?
I think just that it will keep you turning the page, either from the suspense or the love. And even if you're not into romance, and this is what I love about books, they can transform you, they can shift your perspective, they
Hmm.
can turn you, right? And I would say, like, listen, if you're just like romance isn't my genre, pick it up. Pick
Yeah,
up books that you think that you may not enjoy because they might surprise you. There may be something that you connect with,
yeah,
whether it's Mike, whether it's Maya, whether it's one of the other characters within the book. Um, you know, pick up stories that interest you.
yeah, absolutely. Well, and you said before this you were not a romance reader, and now
I
you
was
are, right?
not.
I'm guessing, right?
Let me tell you, I have found so many cute little romances. So listen, I'm a multi-genre reader. I have not read horror yet. Maybe 2026. So, I'm getting there.
That's okay. Besides horror, like what do you like to read?
Oh my goodness. I anything with a good character, but
Okay.
I tend to gravitate towards like mystery, thriller, um, fantasy, but anything with like a really good character, and I'm there.
Okay.
Nonfiction, biography, yeah.
Yeah. Any particular authors that you love?
Yes. So uh Terreece and Clarke is now there, but there's like three authors I will buy sight unseen.
Mhm.
And it is James Patterson, Janet Ivanovich. She does the Stephanie Plum novels, and
Oh
Teresa
yeah.
and Clarke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Going and then talking about Heartbeat one more time. Who would we recommend this story for?
Oh, that's a great question. Anyone who loves messy love, not
Okay.
toxic love, but like love when life isn't perfect, or love when it seems like everything won't work out. I say that's who the story is for because again, she has her own stuff, Mike has his stuff, and yet they find love in a very um fiction, but like a real life type of way, right? Like love sometimes finds us not under the best circumstances, and I think
Mhm.
that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden I remember I'm singing We Found Love in a Hopeless Place in my head. That's where I went.
I love, yeah, 1000%, right? Like she doesn't have anywhere to go. She's in this hotel
Yeah.
having like nightmares, and then like they're like connecting because he
Yeah.
keeps showing up for her and he keeps like doing the work, right?
Right.
And I love that.
Yeah. And talking about you for a minute, anything you want to put a spotlight on? Where can listeners find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so one, like, thank you for like creating the space to just celebrate books and reading. It's so important. Like books are amazing. Like they connect us, they highlight things, they expose parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
So like thank you for creating that space. Again, y'all, my name is Liz. You can find me Liz Bullard Writes on the social platforms, or lizbullard.com for the website and all the books. Um, just spotlighting, continue to support indie authors and, authors out there. We're trying to get our stories out there. And again, thank you for creating spaces for book lovers and authors to talk about the books that we love and that inspire us.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I love doing it, so no problem.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, Liz, thank you so much for joining me tonight, fellow East Coaster. It's been lovely chatting
Yes.
and getting to know you. And cheers.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for spending some time with me and my guests for an episode of Drinks in the Library. For more information about the show, you can find us on Instagram at Drinks in the Library, on the World Wide Web, drinksinthelibrary.com, or shoot me an email at drinkspod@gmail.com. Until next time, cheers.